You ever see a whole room freeze just because of one sentence? Not the kind you yell across a parking lot, but the kind you drop like a pin, so soft, so honest, you can almost hear the world tilting on its axis. Yeah, that happened. And if you were sitting at table 14 that night, right in the heart of Barclay and Pine, you'd probably remember the steak, the jazz, maybe the scent of fancy cologne drifting past. But trust me, you'd never forget the way a tech billionaire got put in his place by a waitress who refused to be anyone's punching bag. Her name's Amani Daniels, 26, sharp-eyed, hair always pulled back in a bun. Not because she's trying to impress anyone, but because it keeps the sweat off her neck during double shifts. That night, the place was humming, all glass and linen, the kind of crowd that tips in 20s if you smile just right. Amani was doing what she always did, moving quick, listening twice as much as she spoke, never letting her hands shake, not even when someone snapped their fingers at her or called her sweetheart like it was a compliment. But then came Roman Fletcher, that Roman Fletcher guy who invented half the smart junk in your house, with money so deep he probably pays people just to think for him. He was at table 9, right by the window, hair silver and slick, suit like it cost more than most people's cars. Next to him sat this woman Elizabeth, eyes fixed on the menu, almost like she hoped if she didn't move, she'd disappear. Here's where things start rolling. Amani was mid-order at another table when Roman started up, loud enough for the whole section to hear, "Excuse me, hello," like he was calling for a bellhop, not a person. She kept it together, told him she'd be right there, but he shot back. "I don't care who you're with. I've been waiting 15 minutes. Where's your manager?" You could hear the edge in his voice, sharp as broken glass. Amani did what anyone raised right would da finished with her first table, walked back, brought Roman his water, stayed calm. She asked, "Would you like sparkling or still?" But he just sneered, "Well, isn't that impressive? You can speak and serve drinks. Should I clap?" It got quiet then. I mean quiet. Not the we're all eating kind, but the something's about to go down kind. And Roman, feeling that hush, went for the kill. You know, if you people worked half as hard as you whine, you might actually get somewhere. That hit the air like a slap, but Amani, she didn't flinch. She just stood there, pen in hand, eyes on him, so still it was like time paused. You could feel folks watching, manager peeking over the host stand, bartenders with bottles and Madeira, diners staring at their plates like maybe the mashed potatoes had the answer. Even the piano player seemed to slow down. Eliza finally tried to cut in, barely whispering, "Roman, maybe we should," but he snapped, "No. I want to know what kind of training this place gives." "Or did you skip that, sweetheart? Too busy tweeting about oppression, huh?" 3 strikes right there. Still, Amani held her ground. No anger. No tears. She just tucked her notepad away, looked him dead in the eye, and this is the part nobody saw coming, she said, soft but clear. "You must be exhausted carrying that much hate into every room." No shouting. No drama. Just a mirror held up to his face. And the room froze. One guy at the bar set his drink down like he was afraid to break the spell. A couple near the wall looked at each other, not sure what to do. Roman blinked, mouth half open, nothing coming out. For the first time, you really saw him without the money, without the power. Just a man, small and cornered by his own words. Someone whispered, "Damn," and it sort of broke the ice, but not for Roman. He tried to save face, tossed out some line about, "You think that was clever? Saying something poetic makes you smart?" But his voice was shaking now. That's when Thomas, the manager, finally stepped up. Big guy, always ironed, never interferes unless things are on fire. But tonight he stood right behind Amani and asked, calm but loud enough for everyone to hear, "Is there a problem here, sir?" Roman started to bluster, claiming he'd been insulted, but Thomas just looked at him, steady as a wall. "Because from where I'm standing, all I saw was a young woman doing her job and a grown man trying to humiliate her. That, right there, was the first twist, no cover-up. No, the customer is always right. Just a manager standing with his staff." Eliza, who hadn't said much, quietly admitted she didn't say anything wrong. Roman snapped at her, too, but it didn't matter. The room had shifted. Suddenly, everyone was on Amani's side, or at least nobody wanted to be on Roman's. Even Thomas offered, "You can stay if you lower your voice." Or we can take this outside. Roman lost it started ranting about performative acts and everyone pretending to be saints. But nobody bit. People just watched him unravel. Amani, though, didn't gloat. She simply said, "No one's clapping. No one's standing. People are just watching you show them exactly who you are." That landed harder than anything else. Roman finally stormed out. No applause, no boos, just the sound of the door swinging shut and a room slowly breathing again. Eliza followed, mumbling, "I'll call a car." And just like that, the scene was over. Or so it seemed. But here's where the aftershocks hit. The man at table 14 raised his glass silent salute. Tips started coming in heavy. A mom at table 12 told Amani, "My daughter's starting a job like this. I hope she handles herself like you." And all over the city, a story started to spread. Someone had filmed the whole thing, grainy phone video, shaky but clear enough. Within hours, it was everywhere. "Waitress shuts down Billionaire with one line, dead silence," read the caption. You know what I mean? Social media ate it up. Her DMs blew up. People wanted to buy her dinner, send her money, call her queen. The restaurant got more reservations than it could handle. A GoFundMe popped up, past $30,000 by lunch the next day. The news wanted her face on their shows. Roman, of course, tried to apologize first with a PR statement about deep regret and reflecting, then by blaming cancel culture when nobody believed him. And then, in a move nobody expected, his lawyer delivered a private letter to Amanino Lawsuits, just an offer to meet and make amends. She said no. She didn't need a redemption story. She wasn't there to save him. The point was made, and it wasn't about him anymore. The bigger twist? Roman's company quietly donated enough for 5 kids to go through job training, all in Amani's name. When she found out, she just shook her head, told the messenger, "This isn't about redemption. It's about responsibility." And if you ask me, that's when she really took the power back. A few weeks later, she went to that youth center, stood in front of a room full of teens kids with hoodies, attitude, eyes half on their phones, and told them, "You don't get to control how people see you. They'll look at your skin, your shoes, your job before your eyes. You can't always fix that, but you can control how you act, what you say, and sometimes that's louder than shouting." A girl up front asked, "What happened after you said that line?" Amani smiled, said, "I got silence. The kind that makes a man realize he can't buy back respect." That's what stuck, because she didn't need a trophy. She didn't want to be a hashtag. She just wanted to get through her shift, keep her dignity, and get home. That night, as the sun set, she sat on the hood of her car. No cameras, no noise, just breathing. Maybe the world would forget in a week, but the people in that restaurant, the kids at the center, the woman who left the tip with a note for your dignity, they wouldn't. So, next time you're in a room and someone tries to make you small, remember you don't have to shout to be heard. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is stand your ground, keep your voice steady, and let the silence do the talking. What about you? Have you ever seen respect change a room? Where's the line between standing up and standing down? Share your take below. Let's talk about what real dignity looks like, even when nobody's clapping.